Wow.
And elections, forget about it. That's over. That's done. If he gets in, I can tell you right now, he will never leave.
You can't be this bad. If Trump gets in the White House again, he will never leave. There will never be another election.
I don't care as long as it's not you know who. That was like a demonic, like the devil came out and just whoever, like, we're gonna make people hate Donald Trump, hate.
You know, this is really a mental health problem right here. Trump derangement syndrome. What is this syndrome? Well, it is a pejorative term, usually for criticizing or a negative reaction to former President Donald Trump that are perceived to be irrational, to have little regard toward Trump's actual policy position. Okay, so, I mean, it's a real thing. I mean, there goes a guy. I think he's got to be one of the worst, Robert De Niro. Some of his remarks about Donald Trump is like, man, you got some serious mental health going on here, man. You can't be this serious about this. Like, you cannot be this bad. Well, he is. Wow. Let's take a listen and let's react to this.
Thank you. I mean, this is really, even these people over here are kind of, it's kind of crazy. It's really crazy. And this thing, Donald Trump has created this. He should be telling them not to do this. But he's just, he wants to sow total, he wants to sow total chaos, which he's succeeding in some areas and places to do. Anyway, beside all that, this is my neighborhood.
I'll be honest, Donald Trump is the product of the mainstream media. Donald Trump has always been who he is, a celebrity, a people person. He's always been a great businessman. But when the media went crazy after Trump, right, in the way that they have, the moment he said, I'm going to become a president, I'm going to run for the presidency, they began to treat him like he was some crazy lunatics. You remember Donald Trump was in the movie, Home Alone. Yeah. There he is. This is the same Donald Trump in that movie we used to watch years ago. Never had a question. This is the hotel, the Trump Tower.
Excuse me, where's the lobby?
Down the hall and to the left.
Yeah, that was the guy. It's the same guy. It's the same guy. But the moment he said, I'm going to go against the deep state, the unelected bureaucrats, we are losing our minds. And that's exactly what I'm talking about here. Anyway, let's go back to his speech because I think we need to be reminded of that.
Downtown New York City. I grew up here and feel at home in these streets. I feel comfortable. The Twin Towers fell just over here, just over there. This part of the city was like a ghost town. But we vowed we would not allow terrorists to change our way of life. And we started the Tribeca Festival to bring people back. I love this city. I love this city. I don't want to destroy it. Donald Trump wants to destroy not only the city, but the country, and eventually he could destroy the world.
That's crazy that he's saying that, right? The party that is actually destroying the city of New York right now are the ones in power. The Democrats are the ones that are destroying New York City. Trump is not in power, and he is completely afraid of what Trump will do. And the party that is actually doing something to the city right now in a very negative way when it comes to the migrants issues, when it comes to the way they spend money, when it comes to the way they're dealing with crimes, the Democrats are the ones that are destroying New York City. And yet he is concerned with Donald Trump, who is not even in power. That is some serious derangement.
But we vowed we would not allow terrorists. I owe this city a lot.
I hope you can hear the chant in the back. I can't repeat those words, but yeah. Oh boy. Yeah, that says a lot. You could tell he's having a hard time. He's being heckled badly.
And that's why it's so weird that Donald Trump is just across the street. Because he doesn't belong in my city. I don't know where he belongs, but he certainly doesn't belong here. We New Yorkers used to tolerate him when he was just another grubby real estate hustler masquerading as a big shot. A two-bit playboy lying his way into the tabloids, pretending to be a spokesperson for himself.
I mean, Donald Trump is from New York City himself. I don't know what this man is talking about. You know how much money and real estate and that Donald Trump brought to New York City? Like, this was never an issue. But again, it goes to show this man is completely out of his mind.
He was calling it as himself for himself to fool the press into inflating his net worth. A clown. But this city is pretty accommodating. We make room for clowns. We have them all over the city. People who do crazy things in the street.
You could tell he is like, he repeats the words from the mainstream media, like clowns, stuff like that. That's very similar to what Kathy Hochul said.
Well, I'll tell you, it won't make a difference at all, Jake, and that is for Donald Trump to be the ringleader of and invite all his clowns to a place like the Bronx.
But it's like, you could tell this man is not a thinker. He's not thinking for himself. He just repeats the talking points of the mainstream media, not reading, not doing his own personal research. And he's just completely deranged.
We tolerate it. It's part of the city. It's part of the culture. But not a person like Trump who will eventually run the country. That does not work, and we all know that.
The problem is he did. He did for 4 years, and the country is in a much better shape than it is now with the men we have in power. So if we were supposed to be so afraid of Donald Trump, all we have to do is check his record, right? Check his history. What has it shown? It shows prosperity. It shows money. It shows safety. It shows respect on the world stage. So if that's the case, what exactly are you afraid of?
Anyway, we make room for clowns, to each his own. But no one takes him or took him really seriously. They take him seriously now, of course. Mm-hmm. But around the country, people who didn't know him, as we did, started to support him. They bought into his bullshit. Trump bought their votes with outrageous lies and empty promises. He got the most religious evangelicals to applaud a sinner who bragged about sexual assault, and who, just a couple of blocks from here, a jury found him liable for sexual abuse.
Okay, so he brought evangelicals to applaud a sinner. Well, got news for you, buddy. All have sinned and fall short of the glory of God.
In America, we don't worship government. We worship God. Somebody said to me the other day, "You're the most famous person in the world by far." I said, "No, I'm not. No, I'm not." He said, "Yes, you are." I said, "No." He said, "Who's more famous?" I said, "Jesus Christ." As long as I am president, no one is going to stop you from practicing your faith or from preaching what is in your heart. And we will make America great again.
The Apostle Paul says, I am the chief of sinners, okay? The man who wrote over 70% of the New Testament. So I got news for you, buddy. If you want to talk about being a sinner, guess what? You are also qualified. Now you can say, yeah, there's an extreme side to a lot of things. Of course, that's understandable. But are you saying God can't use Trump because he's a sinner? Well, God can't use me, and I'm also a pastor. Like, are you out of your mind? God can't use any of us then, if that's the case, because we are all disqualified according to this standard.
I say that God wants to use Trump when I don't agree with his lifestyle or maybe his character. Because you're saying God wants to use the righteous when the righteous are in place. Is he truly righteous? And a lot of people are like, I don't want to vote for Biden, but I don't know if I want to vote for Trump either. How do people deal with that dichotomy?
Well, I would not stand up here and try to make a strong case for Trump's salvation. That's not my heart. But I will say this, I was with a group of 40 worship leaders that were invited into the Oval Office. And we were invited in to pray, to worship, to lay our hands on the president, on the Resolute desk, pray that God's presence would invade that place and his glory would be felt. I've never heard of a president in U.S. history that would do something so crazy. So I do believe God is using him. He's used Samson. He's used David. He's used a lot of imperfect men that were impulsive, and had quite a lot of faults. And so if God can use them, why, who are we in our own self-righteousness to think God has to align up to our standards? No. The better question is for us to go, God, who is your hand on?
Somehow he even got self-styled patriots to support a man who called for terminating the Constitution, and on January 6th rallied an angry mob to threaten democracy, leaving death and destruction in its wake.
This is like one of those old school lies now from my perspective. This stuff is not exactly how it happened. And Trump never said on January 6th to go out there and storm the Capitol. And it wasn't that. He says to go peacefully protest. This stuff is still available on his X page. You can still go and find those links. You can still read them.
I know that everyone here will soon be marching over to the Capitol building to peacefully and patriotically make your voices heard.
Okay, unfortunately, when the January 6th committee features their clips from Trump, I'll bet any amount of money they're going to slice and dice and edit around that part where he says many of you will now peacefully, patriotically march to the Capitol so your voices will be heard. I wonder why.
There's still videos available where he said the exact opposite of what this man is promoting. But it doesn't matter, though. If you hate Trump, you're going to keep repeating the same narrative, even though he's being debunked over and over again. As far as people who passed away, Ashley Babbitt, and there were some other people who passed away, but it didn't happen on that day specifically. Ashley Babbitt was shot that day. That was really horrible, but she was a Trump supporter. So the officers who passed away for heart attack issues and other results, it had nothing to do with January 6th so much. But somebody could say yes, it does, but it wasn't like Trump supporters went out and were killing people. That's not how it happened. And you can simply do the research, but they don't bother doing any research. They just want you to be afraid, want you to live in this perspective that Trump is out to get you. It's just crazy, man. Like, you got to wake up from this thing.
That's why I needed to be involved and wanted to be involved in the new Biden-Harris ad.
That's crazy. These celebrities, man, I don't know why anybody keeps listening to them.
Because it shows the violence of Trump and reminds us that he'll use violence against anyone who stands in the way of his megalomania and greed.
Megalomania.
But it's a coward's violence. You think Trump ever threw a punch himself or took one? This guy who ran and hid in the White House bunker when there were protesters outside? No way. He doesn't get blood on his hands. No, he doesn't. He directs the mob to do his dirty work for him by making a suggestion, an inference. And his gang grovels and follows his obvious order. It's no surprise that the murder rate and other...
It's calling Americans gangs, people who love their country, people who side with Donald Trump has gangs, like some criminals, this guy is out of his mind crazy, yo. Like, you're talking about close to 50% of the American population who support Donald Trump currently. Like, you know how many people you are speaking against? Like, you really think all of us, a bunch of gangsters who just want to destroy the country? Like, yo, you got to have at least a better perspective of humanity. Like, this is not exactly the case at all. Yeah, you can say there are some radicals among the bunch, and that's always true in everything. So that doesn't necessarily mean all Trump supporters are bad people. You got to be out of your mind, man.
Violent crimes peaked under Trump and are falling under Biden. And now he's promising to use our own military to attack U.S. citizens.
What?
That's the tyrant.
Where did he get that from? Where does he get his news? Where does he get his news? Oh my Lord, this guy is horrible.
That's the tyrant he's telling us he'll be. And believe me, he means it. When Trump ran in 2016, it was like a joke. This buffoon running for president. No, it never could happen.
Calls him buffoon.
We'd forgotten the lessons of history that showed us other clowns who weren't taken seriously until they became vicious dictators. With Trump, we have a second chance. And no one is laughing now. This is the time to stop him by voting him out once and for all. We don't want to wake up after the election saying, what, again? My God, what the hell have we done? We can't have that happen again.
Well, that's a violation of democracy that you speak about, right? Although we live in a constitutional republic. But again, let's go with your word, democracy, democracy, democracy. You say you're supposed to respect democracy. You said people should be able to vote. You said their voting should count. Here you are talking about you can't have a Donald Trump again. It's like, wait a minute, I thought it was up to the people. Now he's up to you. Which one is it, buddy?
Yesterday was Memorial Day. It's a good time to reflect on how Americans fought and died so that we may enjoy the freedoms guaranteed to us by a democratic government. A government that, as President Lincoln said, of the people, by the people, for the people, shall not perish from the earth. Under Trump, this kind of government will perish from the earth.
Exact opposite is going on. It's the exact opposite, boy. Oh, golly. I mean, the government is perishing currently under Biden administration. Things are worse under Biden administration than they were under Trump. More of our freedoms are taken away during the Biden administration than they were under Trump. Censorship, your Second Amendment, and many other laws are being restricted. Even the religious community is highly under attack during the Biden administration than any other president. Are you serious right now?
I don't mean to scare you. No, wait, maybe I do mean to scare you. If Trump returns to the White House, you can kiss these freedoms goodbye that we all take for granted.
Wow.
And elections, forget about it. That's over. That's done. If he gets in, I can tell you right now, he will never leave.
You can't be this bad. If Trump gets in the White House again, he will never leave. There will never be another election. Yo, you are out of your mind.
He will never leave. You know that. He will never leave. What does that mean? Is that the country we want to live in? Do we want him running this country and saying, I'm not leaving, I'm dictator for life?
It's fake news, buddy. Nothing but fake news.
I hope this new ad campaign reaches outside the bubble to remind supporters of what a danger he is to our lives.
Yeah.
This is not a threat. This is a reality. Mm-hmm. And that's why I've joined the Biden-Harris campaign, because the only way to preserve our freedoms and hold on to our humanity is to vote for Joe Biden for president. Really.
To vote for Joe Biden. You see how crazy disconnected you are from reality? Like, even the mainstream media is like stepping away from Joe Biden. They realize, yo, man, his mental health is really bad. He's not there. He's not with it. Dementia Joe. Things are not good with Joe. And they actually begin to realize that. Even, the minority groups, how they refer to us, black people, Hispanics, we are saying, nah, we good. We welcome Trump, even among our community, because we're just trying to get rid of Biden. But here is this guy talking about the only solution to Donald Trump is Joe Biden. Like, what about policies? Can we talk about policies? What exactly is Biden doing that benefits the country as a whole? He has nothing to say. Have you heard him say anything about policy apart from fear mongering about Trump, what Trump could possibly do to you? It's like you're running a negative kind of election stuff here. It's like you're running against a man. You're not running to make the world a better place, to fix America. You're just running to make sure Trump doesn't win. This is the kind of stuff you're promoting on behalf of Biden and Harris, which is like, that stuff is old. Like the average American don't care about this anymore.
We don't have a choice. On January 6th, while Republican lawmakers despicably tried to keep the loser Trump, in the White House, and Trump-inspired insurrectionists stormed the Capitol, brave men and women from law enforcement put their lives on the line to defend this country. Our democracy. They are the true heroes. These guys are the true heroes. They stood and put their lives on the line for these lowlives, for Trump.
They lied under oath.
They lied under oath. Who lied under oath? What are you telling me?
Those two traitors behind you.
Excuse me?
Those two traitors behind you.
They lied under oath?
That's right.
What are you saying?
They're traitors.
They're traitors. I don't know. I don't even know how to deal with you, my friend. I don't even know how to deal with you.
I don't know how to do it.
They stood there. They didn't have to. And there were other ones in there who probably were in with them a little bit too, and they found a way to get around. Not these guys. They stood there and
They
fought.
lied under oath.
For us, for you. For you.
They weren't fighting for me.
No, they fought for you, buddy. You're able to stand right here now.
Oh, I'll give you us a break.
They are the true heroes. I'm honored to be with these two heroes today, from former Capitol Police Officer Harry Dunn and former Metropolitan Police Officer Michael Fanone.
Robert De Niro is needs some serious help. I'll tell you what. His Trump derangement syndrome is out of control. I mean, I remember this little skit here from Jim Brewer. I did do a reaction to that. That is spot on how it feels.
What is going on? Right? Like, it's past. It's past if you're divided politically. Even, you have to admit, even if you're like, I don't care as long as it's not you know who. Like, that was like a demonic, like the devil came out and just whoever, like, we're gonna make people hate Donald Trump, hate. Get him. I hate Donald Trump. He's a racist. He's a dead white supremacist. He's an insurrectionist. They lynch people. Because I saw the news channels. I saw them saying, he's racist, he's sexist. You would just wake up to pee in the middle of the night. He hates Mexicans, and he says they're rapists, and he hates black people, and he... What? They had, remember the Women's March? We're gonna march! Oh, they knew what a woman was then.
I felt the need to end this thing on a positive note because Robert De Niro, I mean, insufferable. But I'll tell you what, listen, man, there's no fear in love. Perfect love casts out fear because fear has torment. And he that feareth is not made perfect in love. You know, when you're a man of faith, it doesn't necessarily mean you're not concerned with what's going on in the world, but you don't live in the atmosphere of love. You have hope. You believe in change. You believe in positivity. You can see the light down the tunnel. This doesn't necessarily mean you're not aware there's evil in the world. This doesn't necessarily mean we shouldn't be protecting our borders, doing the best that we can do to protect our country. That's not what we are talking about here. But this concept of living consistently in fear of Donald Trump, that stuff is not of God, buddy. Like, relax, brother. Trust the Lord. God, he has the final say in every matters of life. That's not how you live life, man. That hopelessness, that helplessness, that consistent fear-mongering attitude is killing you. Your blood pressure is going to be high. You're not going to enjoy life. I'm telling you. So is it wrong for me to love a man who loves America, who wants to make the country a much better place?